Let's get right into it. Getting your child into a top school isn't what it used to be. Not even close. We're going to break down how technology has completely rewritten the rules for admissions all across the globe. Seriously, what worked for you as a parent is now officially outdated, and we're here to show you exactly what you need to know today. So just think about this for a second. That essay your child spent weeks perfecting, yeah, its first reader might not be a person at all. It might be graded by an AI. And what about those official credits they need? Well, they can now be earned from a course taken completely online. And guess what? It often carries the exact same weight as a traditional classroom. And the proof? The actual proof of what your child can do? It's not just about a report card anymore. Nope, it's about a living, breathing collection of their digital work. And this one is probably the biggest shift of all. Admissions committees are using algorithms to sort, filter, and even evaluate student applications before a human being ever lays eyes on them. So here is the bottom line, the thing you absolutely have to understand. Technology isn't just a tool anymore. It's not a subject like history or biology. It has become the new language of education itself. How we learn, how we're assessed, and how opportunities are given out, it's all based on this new language. So if we want our kids to be fluent, we've got to understand the grammar, right? Let's break down the core trends that are driving this massive, massive change. Okay, it really boils down to these big three. First, AI isn't just for grading. It's creating personalized learning paths for students. Second, you can pretty much forget paper certificates. Digital portfolios are the new resume. And third, online courses are now seen as totally legitimate academic proof. Getting a handle on these is step one to future-proofing your child's entire profile. All right, let's start by looking at the CBSE curriculum. The best way to think about it is as a system with this incredibly powerful foundation in logic. But, and this is a big but, it absolutely requires some specific tech add-ons for a student to really compete on the world stage. You know, what's so fascinating here is the core challenge this reveals for CBSE students. They have this amazing strength in logical thinking and math. I mean, these are literally the building blocks for coding. The potential is huge, but they often lack the digital proof that global schools are screaming for. So the potential is there, but the evidence, that's what's missing. So when I say digital proof, what am I really talking about? I'm talking about a digital portfolio. And look, this isn't just a random folder of files on a computer. It's a carefully curated showcase of their best projects, coding samples, digital art, presentations, even video reflections. It tells the story of their skills. So how do you actually build this proof? Here's a simple, super effective plan. You start with visual coding to build their confidence. Then you move on to practical, in-demand skills like Python for logic and Canva for design. And finally, and this part is absolutely crucial, you get official proof with certifications from recognized platforms like Coursera or edX. Okay, let's switch gears and talk about the International Baccalaureate, or IB. Now, this is a totally different beast. We should think of this as a framework that builds in digital fluency from the get-go, but it requires a very different strategic focus for a student to really truly stand out from the crowd. You see, the challenge for IB students is almost the mirror opposite of CBSE students. They are naturals at digital expression and portfolio-based work. They've probably sampled a ton of different tools. But that's the catch, isn't it? It often leads to this wide breadth of experience, but a pretty shallow depth. They might know a little bit about 10 different tools, but they haven't really mastered any of them. And this chart just illustrates that point perfectly. An IB student's tech exposure, it's through the roof. It's woven into just about everything they do. But that specialized depth, the kind of thing that makes a top-tier university's computer science department sit up and take notice, that's often just moderate, and that's the gap we need to close. So how do you build that depth? The strategy here is all about focus. Instead of trying out even more tools, pick one programming language, like Python, and really master it. Have them complete one significant long-term project they can show off. Get them into coding competitions. This completely changes the narrative from I've used technology to I build with technology. Okay, so we've looked at a couple of specific systems, but what are the universal steps that every single parent should be taking? Let's run through a final tech-ready checklist. And I want you to ask yourself these questions about your own child's profile. Question number 1, is their digital portfolio ready and organized? And I don't mean a messy folder on a desktop. I'm talking about a polished, professional website or platform that an admissions officer can look at for 2 minutes and just be instantly blown away. Next up, Do they know at least one programming language? This is about making that critical shift from just being a consumer of technology to becoming a creator. Knowing a language like Python today is like knowing how to write a great essay a generation ago. It's a fundamental skill that proves logic and problem solving. Okay, next, have they completed any online certifications from a source people actually recognize? This is so critical. It tells an admissions officer that your kid's skills weren't just graded by a nice teacher, they've been measured against a global standard. It's an undeniable point of proof. And what about this? Can they communicate their ideas digitally? This is a huge soft skill. Can they build a compelling slide deck, create a short, snappy video, or lead a team on a shared document? In today's world, that's every bit as important as public speaking. And finally, a really forward-looking question. As they start using all these powerful AI tools, do they get the difference between assistance and, well, cheating? Can they use them responsibly? This is a massive focus for global educators right now. So, let's bring it all home. Every single student has a starting point. For a CBSE student, the mission is to leverage that amazing logic to build a portfolio of proof. For an IB student, it's about turning that broad fluency into focused, deep expertise. And for so many others, like kids in various state board systems, their core strength is often resilience. And the first step is just building that foundational digital literacy from the ground up. Let's end on this really powerful idea. We talk all the time about preparing our kids for the future. But when it comes to technology and education, the future is already here. This is the reality of right now. This is the present. So I'll leave you with this final thought. In a world where AI, digital portfolios, and online learning are the things that define opportunity, what is your next step to prepare your child?